Hi. Just kidding. I don't talk like this. I talk like this. I actually talk like this. Hi, my name's Drew Monson. This is my second channel where I talk like this for 20... Oh my god. I was gonna say I talk like this for 29 to 73 minutes, but I touched the dollar. You're not supposed to touch the dollar. If you ever come to my house and touch my dollar, I'm not kidding, I'll whack you out my window. I have a lot of topics. I'm a little nervous about a few of these, but apologies if this is not my best video. I've been having a really hard time making videos recently because I hate myself, or I kind of, like, I feel like I don't hate myself, but then all of my thoughts and actions point to me hating myself. But then, you know, like, somebody doesn't reply to my message, and I'm like, excuse me, you're really gonna leave the king undelivered? Like, it doesn't match up. I don't really know how I feel, but every time I start talking recently, a little voice in my head that isn't really a voice, it's just kind of like words floating around that I can kind of half hear, says, don't say that. And then I like try to say something else and the voice is like, don't say that either. So then I just stop talking and I've just been having a difficult time, but I have things to say. I posted, I was like, I might not make a video this week. I'm feeling very negative. And have you seen how nice people are to me on the internet? It kind of stresses me out. I mean, don't stop, please. Please, don't stop. But every time that someone's nice to me, I don't know if you do this, but I immediately imagine somebody who doesn't like me seeing it and going, no! Like, I imagine someone who hates me seeing people being nice to me and it making their hate grow stronger. Like, they start hulking out. Do you know who the Hulk is? The green guy. Not Shrek! But I tweeted that, and then I always find the one hater. If there was a job title called Hater Finder, I would be manager. I always find the one hater, though. There was one person who said, it seems like you always stop making videos when you don't need money anymore. Which is, I guess, isn't really even a hate comment. It's like a love comment of someone being like, you only make videos for me when you want the check, sweetie. But I blocked them on both of my Twitter accounts. And this is so petty. I DM'd them first and I said, that hurt my feelings, just so you know why I'm blocking you. Like I'm their toxic ex or something. I also like, has anyone ever been mean to you on the internet and like you don't even know them, so you look through what else they post? Because like my fear is that they're nice to everyone else. Like what if I go to this person's page and they're like, I love you, I love everyone. Actually, Drew sucks. And I'm like, whoa, you broke your streak for me. But I started looking through the page and there was a bunch of like naughty stuff on there. And then all of a sudden I'm like learning about my haters' sexual interests. That's a good video title, actually. I'll do that next week. But yeah, what else is going on? You know what I was thinking when I was trying to fall asleep last night? Because sometimes I believe in hell. I don't know why. It seems very fake. Like, are you serious? And also I don't want to because like that's scary. But I do sometimes, and I hope you can't go to hell for being mean to yourself. It sounds like a thought that like a 7-year-old would have, but what if I go to hell, hear me out, and I get there and I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Why? And they're like, you were mean to him. And I'm like, who? And they're like, and I'm like, I thought that didn't count. Stop. What else? I was gonna talk about this movie that I auditioned for in 2015, because I made a video about my acting career, but I realized that I left out the biggest audition I ever had where the thing is, I can't tell you because I looked through my emails from 2015 and I signed an NDA. That's how big of a deal it was. You can try to guess. I can't say it. Let's just say it was the Joker, okay? That actually would make sense. Can you imagine? Did I ever tell the story of when I saw the movie it was just called Joker, like a few years ago. I went by myself, and I always have a backpack. I've talked about that. I always wear a backpack in public because I get worried that I'm gonna get really hungry and I'm not gonna have time to get home and eat food. So I've always got like almond butter and chicken in my backpack. It's canned chicken, and I've cut my hand on it a lot. It's a long story. But I was having a panic attack while watching The Joker in theaters, and I kept like getting up with my backpack and leaving and walking back in and leaving and going to the bathroom, and I saw some people like looking out of the corner of their eyes like, oh my God. And I realized that I'm that guy. I'm that guy that people get nervous is gonna like, you know? Anyway, that's a horrible thing. But anyway, I auditioned for this movie in 2015. My agent sent it to me, and I was like, I didn't think they were joking, but I was like, why would I even pay for the Uber? Why would I ever? But still, let's pretend it's the Joker. There was still a part of me, because I'm a dreamer, that was like, what if? And I started imagining like the articles that people would write, like, let's pretend it's Batman. Drew Monson has been cast as Batman. Who is he and why? Or I imagined like, Drew Monson is our next Batman. Why this is a win for weird looking men everywhere. Like I thought that it would be like a cultural movement, or like I would change everything. But I went there and I said the lines. I remember because it was kind of like a serious part, but it was like a very kind of silly like script, and I was just trying to be funny. And then I emailed my agents, I was like, what'd they think? And they're like, they said you were funny. And I'm like, cool. And nothing ever happened, and I can't talk about it, but because it was like the casting director was for like a big company, and I thought, well, maybe they'll put me in I don't know. I think I was just weird looking in the wrong way. I never got roles in Hollywood because I'm just a strange guy. Now I'm hating myself again. I've got other things to say here. Just relax the shoulders. Did you do it? Isn't that weird that if you just relaxed your shoulders, a man in a gray beanie from thousands of miles away just controlled your shoulders? Isn't the internet beautiful? You're more vulnerable than you thought. Check yourself, because there's other men in gray beanies out there. And they might tell you to do something even worse to your shoulders. I'm nice. I told you to relax them. Next gray beanie boy might tell you to chop them off. And then you got 2 shoulders. What are you going to do with those? Sell them? I'll buy them. I kind of want to date one of my friends, but not specifically. Like, I had this thought the other day, like, I don't know how to trust people anymore because of what I've been through or what I've done to myself or other people have done to me. I don't even know. But it would be great. Like, that's like the most romantic thing, right? I'm scared now saying this, that one of my friends is going to watch this and just text me preemptively like, hey, just saw the new content. Just before you ask, no. But wouldn't that be great? Like someone that you've known forever, because the people that you've been friends with, for me, it's like 5 years. If you've been friends with me for 5 years and you don't, okay, there's kids screaming outside. If you've been friends with me for 5 years and you haven't gone, oh my God, shut up, I don't want to talk to you anymore, then I trust that you're gonna, like, that you actually care about me. And there's people I've met recently that like I do care about, but I'm just scared that after a few months I'm gonna wear off and they're gonna go away. So I really just had this thought of like, what if I never meet a new person that I trust ever again, and the people that I trust are just family or friends I've had since I was like 12 that have been grandfathered in before I started having trust issues. It's a very negative thing to say, but point is, that would be the perfect situation, but I don't know about that. Oh, my other thought, you know how people name their fans, like their viewers, things? I'm gonna call my viewers my psychiatrists, because I am getting diagnosed in the comments. It never ends. I know I probably have ADHD. I don't know what to do. Do I buy the merch? Have I made that joke already? Okay. I was thinking this the other day. You can do whatever you want in a psychiatrist office, as long as you're not violent. Like, that's the one place that you could go in and act insane, and all it is a symptom. Like, you could really walk into a psychiatrist's office and they could be like, so let's start with why you're here. And you could just go, and they'd have to just go, and like write down little fart noise. Like, what are they're not gonna go, excuse me, this is a place for it's not a job interview. Like, literally, they could be like, what are your parents like? And you could just go, I'm a big, big boy. And they'd have to just put like, very interested in what size of boy he is. Also, my other idea for doctors, I'm gonna put a dent in the medical industry with this video. You know how, there's medical doctors and then there's therapists. I think there should be a hybrid. I think that every doctor should be kind of a therapist. So when you come in with like back pain or stomach cramps that they can't do anything about because they're like, I think it's just anxiety, and you're like, ugh, I've been meaning to deal with that. They have, if you come in with any kind of pain, a medical doctor should have to go, I'm sorry, at least once. They should have to go, that must be really hard. And they have to be like a good therapist. Like, if you diminish yourself, a good therapist, they go, see what you just did right there? That's like a classic good therapist line. Do you see what you just did right there? What? every time you speak about the way you look, you look to your left and you start, never mind. I was outside yesterday and a guy walked up to me and he went, "Your name Johnny?" And my first thought was that was what my mom was told me. Like, you know how your parents tell you what they were gonna name you? My mom always said she was gonna call me Johnny, but my dad didn't want to call me Johnny or something. So a guy walked up to me and he goes, "Is your name Johnny?" And I was about to go, "No, but it was supposed to be." And then what if he went, "Oh yeah, that's what I meant. No, your name is Drew, but it was supposed to be Johnny. Hi, my name's Kyle, we're best friends." And I went, "Oh, Kyle, I didn't see you there. You got sunglasses on." Is this a good video? I heard a woman, my OCD has been horrible lately. Like, I am having a moment with myself where I'm realizing, okay, well, when I say my OCD, let me just be clear. I thought I was diagnosed with OCD because when I was like 10, my dad said he had to keep buying new shampoo bottles, and he figured out that I was using all of the shampoo every time I took a shower, and I think he asked me and I was just like, I need it all. And then they sent me to a psychiatrist or a therapist, and I kind of got all these books on OCD. But then I saw a psychiatrist when I was like 18, and she was like, "You were never diagnosed with OCD. I don't think you have OCD." And I was like, well, then why am I doing all this? I guess I'm just cringe. Like, I don't know what's happening. So now I don't really know what I have, but I do a lot of stuff, and I've gotten to the point where I'm doing little symptoms all the time that I'm just now realizing are symptoms. And I'm like, oh no. And now I'm seeing them, like, I will just be like, let's just say I'm holding this mug with my grandmother's face wearing sunglasses on it. I will just be tapping it and not even, like, talking to someone and not even thinking about the fact that I'm telling myself to tap it in a certain way. And it's like, it's never consistent. Because I remember when I was a kid, people would always describe OCD like, oh, OCD, that's this thing that people have where they have to touch the light switch 15 times before they go to bed. That's what the one I would always hear, the example. So I always felt like I didn't have it because mine were always new. It was always whatever situation I'm in. It, like, let's say I'm bouncing a ball. It was like, well, bounce it with your palm, but if you touch it like this. And I was at Target the other day. I found a really comfortable pair of boxer briefs, 100% cotton. They were like $7, but I deserve certain things. And I start walking up to buy it, and then a voice in my head. This voice has been, talking to me since I was 9 years old, telling me to use all the shampoo. I had very shiny locks for a few months in 2004 or whatever. But the OCD voice or whatever starts going, "Don't buy the underwear." Stuff like that. I'm like having a conversation with it where I'm like, why not? It doesn't make any sense. But then there's always a part of me that's like, well, hey, maybe you're right. Maybe I didn't listen the last time you told me not to buy underwear, and that's why COVID happened. Sorry, I bought underwear. Sorry, I've got 100% cotton now, but people are dying. So I did buy the underwear though. I triumphed in that moment because it doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't even jive with who I am as a person. Like, I'm a skeptic. I have a hard time believing in God. Sometimes I believe in hell and God. Sometimes I don't. When people tell me they like saw a ghost, usually I'm like, no, you didn't. Because it's always like at night and I'm like, well, you were dreaming. You were dreaming and then you woke up and you didn't realize it was a dream. Or it's when they were a kid and I'm like, I don't remember. You saw a ghost when you were 5? I don't remember anything I saw when I was 5. Yeah, right. I saw a bunch of shampoo and I used it. But it's just weird that if someone asked me, like, what are your spiritual beliefs? I would never be like, well, I believe that we should be good to one another and that if a voice in your head tells you not to buy underwear, you shouldn't buy it. That is what determines if bad or good things will happen in your life. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just sick of it. I'm really sick of it. Okay, sorry. I've been having like a lot of depression lately, and I realized that I look at like depressive episodes or whatever the same way I look at like Christmas and Easter, where like when Christmas and Easter happen, I'm like, hey, it's Christmas, you get candy. Hey, time for ice cream. Like, when I start feeling like scared to go outside and waking up really tired, I'm like, guess who's getting chocolate milk? I had a whole pint the other day of ice cream, and I'm never happy with I don't think there's one brand of ice cream that puts enough toppings in there. I want to start an ice cream brand and it's just called, there's a bunch of toppings in this one. Buy this one. And it's just me going, come here, baby. Or it's just called like, I put a whole brownie in here. I just put a cold cookie in here and barely any ice cream. Because it's like, they call it, they talk a big game, these ice cream labels. It'll be like, you know, caramel cookie extravaganza. It's never an extravaganza. It's barely a party. It's like maybe an office party in like the break room with a little cupcake, a muffin with a candle on it, lit by someone who doesn't actually care about you. It's not an extravaganza. So I supplement toppings. Because when I get ice cream, it's a mission. It's mission impossible. I'm like, it's a chemistry experiment. I'm walking home and I'm thinking about how I'm gonna eat the ice cream. And I don't judge, I'm trying not to judge myself anymore, because the second I remember that ice cream exists and I'm allowed to eat it, I've already eaten the ice cream. There's no choice. I'm already laying on the couch thinking about how the ice cream is in my belly now and I wish I could eat it one more time. That's already happened by the time I decide to go to Target. So there's no point. But I ate a whole pint of ice cream. I added peanut butter clusters to some caramel. So that's a story. I heard a woman call her child mama at the store. Have you ever heard someone? I always like that. I think that's really sweet. She goes, "No, be careful, mama." But then I thought, I wonder if when you grow up that, like, I imagine the little girl like in therapy, like 15 years from now going like, my mom used to call me mom. It was a role reversal and it really confused me. Is that funny? Is that offensive? I don't know. Here's my question. Next topic. Is there a paranoia TikTok? There's like ADHD TikTok. You know, people talk about like little corners of the internet. Like I'm on film Twitter. I feel like people don't talk about paranoia enough. I like to talk about paranoia because I have like the cars are following me, like complete, like I've known you for 12 years, but what if you're gonna kill, like what if you have a knife in your pocket and it's a butter knife, but you're willing to take the time to carve me up? But I don't know, just thinking about it because being a YouTuber, being like a public person, it doesn't mix well with my paranoia issues because like I would say at least twice a week, somebody will like comment or, you know, tweet or something. And my first thought, they'll be like, "How was the doctor?" And I'm like, "You took my phone. You befriended my mother and asked her about my schedule." Like I always forget what I put out there. I need to draw better boundaries or remember what happens because I swear, I still don't know how someone did this. The other day, someone commented on my video and said, "You need to change your dehumidifier." I walked out to my kitchen, it was full, and I don't remember putting my dehumidifier on the video. And of course, my first thought is they're peeping in through my window. Don't peep in through my window and don't touch my dollar. Don't touch this dollar. Do you think that dollar's worth more than $1? Are you allowed to sell dollar bills? That's a question, because I could sell this one. I haven't changed her. Ew, like she has, like my dollar's wearing a diaper. Anybody laugh at me saying my dollar's wearing a diaper? Yeah, I don't know. Just OCD in general. I just realized that I've been having this moment where I'm realizing how much of my life it controls, and it's like almost everything. Like almost everything I've been doing lately is like, I literally was eating, I bought smoked salmon at the grocery store and I had 2 packages of smoked salmon and I stood in front of my fridge and I was like trying to feel which one was heavier because I had to have the heavier smoked salmon, and it took me like 7 minutes and I was hungry. And I'll just do something like that and be like, guess I'm quirky. I don't want to live like that, you know? And it sucks to have like a mental issue that you've kind of like put off, and then it becomes like a pile of laundry that I'm like, I'll get to that. I guess I'll put on these pants that aren't really comfortable because I don't want to do my laundry. I'll put on the pants that hurt my thighs, you know? And it's just like, I'm putting it off, but it's getting worse while I'm putting it off, and it's just very difficult. It really is. It's really been very difficult, and I don't know. Oh, but I was wondering where's Paranoia Timmy Turner. I've been thinking about this show, The Fairly Odd Parents, because I used to watch like every episode of shows that I don't even know if I liked them, and I would binge them like 7 times in a row because that's the only option I had. That show really bothered me. I felt like Cosmo and Wanda were evil. Because if you've never seen it before, it's basically about this average kid with but it's basically this show where the kid has fairy godparents and he wishes for things and they're like, okay, you sure? And he goes, yeah, and he's just a little kid. And then they completely mishear him. Like, let's say he's like, I wish my parents would just shut up. And they go, are you sure you wish for that? And he goes, yeah, I want them to be quiet. And they go, okay, ding, ding, ding. And then the next day, his parents like don't have mouths anymore. And they're like, hey, you wished for it. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't wish for that. It just would bother me so much every time. And honestly, he was only like 7. He should have figured that out. He should have been like, listen guys, I appreciate the odd parents that I have, like fairy godparents. I don't want to use your services anymore. Because clearly you don't get me and I don't get you. And we should just like end this before it gets worse. Another thing that annoyed me the other day, I see Zac Efron is trending on Twitter. This is what bugs me about the way media works right now. Can I just give this example? Oh wait, my camera's running out of charge. This is what bugs me. Okay, Zac Efron was trending on Twitter and the tweet that was going around, I know this doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. It says Zac Efron tells E! News, you can't even see this, can you? Tells E! News that he's interested in a High School Musical reboot. But then the quote, it makes it sound like he had this idea and he like released a press statement or whatever. Of course, it starts with of course, which means somebody asked him. And they ask celebrities these questions or whoever, and they're like, yeah, I guess so. And then it comes out as this like headline with a big picture of Zac Efron as if he went out onto the street in Hollywood and say, I want a new High School Musical movie, please, please, please. Imagine if someone like walked up to you on the street and was like, would you ever want to make a song with Selena Gomez? I don't know why that's my example. And you were like, oh yeah, I like Selena. That sounds really cool. I would love to work with Selena. How'd you know that I sing? And they're like, I watch your TikTok. And you're like, I went viral. And then the next day, the headline was like, you, whatever your name is, Casey. Casey says she would love to work with Selena Gomez. And it's just a big picture of you, Casey, going. And everyone's like, okay, cocky, Casey. You don't even know her. And you're like, I know, someone asked. I'm just saying, justice for Zac Efron. Okay, sorry, I got upset at myself again, but I think that's the end. I'm gonna talk on my Patreon a little more, probably like 15 minutes. I wanted to say, there's one thing that I didn't mention in my acting career video. That was like the moment when I realized that maybe it was over for me. And I don't know, I just don't wanna say it on YouTube. If you wanna go on there, I'll be talking about that. It's not like a huge deal, but it's a phone call that I got. Or just like, it was something that an acting friend said that I was like, oh. And I'm sure I'll get into other things there too. So thanks for watching this. This is like a strange time for me to post a video, but I guess you'll be watching this, you could be watching this 5 years from now. What happened? Please tell me what happened. If you're watching this someone is gonna, isn't that weird? Someone's gonna watch this 5 years in the future and probably be watching and going, oh, he has no idea. Ooh, he has no idea. I hope it's good though. Did everything get good? Did they start putting bigger cookies in the ice cream? Why do I act like a little kid sometimes? I think I want to be a baby boy. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be on Patreon. I'm going to sing the names of the people who pay me $30 a month on Patreon. My next video might be better. I know I apologize too much and it doesn't seem sincere, but... Oh, that's the other thing. So I saw some quote online about like how you have to let people be. Before I go, you have to let people be upset sometimes, and communication sometimes, let me actually find it because I sent it to my friend. It was just this one line. It was written by the lead singer of the band Eve 6, if you've ever heard of them. Okay. Realizing that the other person is entitled to an emotional response, be it disappointment or even anger. And that just resonated with me because I think I have a really hard time letting that happen. Like whenever I say something, or let's say I did something wrong and someone gets mad, like it feels like, oh no, how do I show them that I'm not bad, or how do I show them that I care about them, or how, I guess it just sounds like I'm trying to manipulate the situation, but I do panic. Like the other day, I didn't, this is a little personal, but I didn't respond to my, you know what, I'm gonna get into that on Patreon too. I'm sorry, I know that's rude, but point is, there are a lot of times, that's just been a good thing for me to remember lately, that sometimes things happen and people people don't like what you say sometimes, or I don't know. I always get this feeling of like, oh, like something wrong is happening. But if someone is continuing to talk to you, that's the statement. They are continuing to talk to you. Like, it's very hard for me to, it's like I believe that everybody is just talking to me because they feel bad for me and they're actually mad at me. But it's like, well, then why are they hanging out? What's going on here? Are they playing a big prank? I don't think so. Not very funny. Not very funny, sir. Johnny. Okay. I'm gonna sing the names of them. That wasn't a very good ending thing, but just if it helps you at all, keep in mind, people get upset sometimes, and that doesn't mean that everything is going wrong. You get upset sometimes too. This is me talking to myself. You get upset sometimes too. And you get disappointed sometimes. And people can, sometimes I'll send someone a message and they will just go, I don't know if I agree with you. And all of a sudden I'm like, I thought we were friends. Like, I can't handle it. But I'm pointing it out and I'm trying. Okay, my camera died, so I've taken things to the iPhone. I have a few more things to say before I sing the song. I had some popcorn, so I'm feeling kind of hyper again. Does it feel different? Is this point of view, like, is it more personal? Does it make you uncomfortable? I feel like it looks kind of better. Why did I spend 850 smackaroonies on her? Looks professional. Don't I look like a professional all of a sudden, though? Can you imagine me, like, on a college campus, just like an art guy, like with my beanie on, like, no, I'll be at the function. Yeah, no, I'm taking my equipment home. I'll be there. Stop, go off. I should have gone to art college. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, maybe that's what, maybe that's what went wrong with my life. My life is fine. Is it? I always feel like I'm about to say the reality of how I feel about like my life, but I don't want to admit it. Like, whenever I'm like, I think that I don't like all of this, I get nervous that like all my friends and family are going to get worried and people are going to call me ungrateful for what is going well in it. But I can't even tell anymore. Am I okay with everything that's going on? Are you? I don't know. By the way, when I said earlier that I'm having trouble making videos, I just want to be clear, like, I don't feel like I'm held hostage. Like, this is my job, but I love expressing myself. It's just hard when I'm overthinking everything. And being creative in general is hard. I was thinking about this recently, like, what's hard about it is it feels like you did all the work when you have the idea. Like, I will walk around like, oh, that's perfect. Oh, yeah. And then I like sit down to do it and I'm like, oh, I didn't actually think of anything. I just had like a vague image and it was enough to satisfy me at the time. Like, I always feel like I have a whole movie in my head, but I don't know what it actually is. I feel like everybody does. Don't you have a movie in your head that's like kind of about you, but not really? You have the soundtrack picked out. You've got like you know what the main character is going to say at this one point, and it kind of feels like you have all of it if you would just like do it. And it's so good. It's like a masterpiece, like literally 112% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, they're changing the whole website for your movie that's never going to actually come out. Sorry, that was projection. Yours might come out. Maybe you're the next Steven Spielberg. Maybe your name is Karen Spielberg. Don't say Karen. Drew, Karen? That's an old joke. Karen? Do you think any Karens are watching my videos calling the cops? He put he's got a gray beanie on and he's yelling at me. Anyway, if anyone's wondering, by the way, this is from a paper cut. I'm just very protective now because I had an infection on my finger a few weeks ago and it got all disgusting. And now like I'm always making little mistakes. That really is like, there's I don't know. It's like, it's proof that I'm kind of all over the place. The more that I'm like making little dents on my body and I'm just like, okay, you need to slow down. I'm constantly having moments where I like burn my entire hand. I'm just like Googling and it's like running under cool water for 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? That's how I got here in the first place, is I can't sit still for 15 minutes. Just always making making mistakes, and I'm literally, by the time I'm 75 years old, I'm just gonna be covered in like bruises and burns and scrapes, and someone's gonna be like, Grandpa, what happened to you? And I'm like, listen, I just couldn't stop. I wanted to make some pasta, but I didn't want to wait for it to get cold. I went to CVS, by the way, because you know how they have I think I've talked about this before. They have a section at pharmacies that says like consult, which to me means like talk to the pharmacist. Like I treat it like a Q&A. I just got some Neosporin. It was like triple antibiotic ointment with pain reliever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask the pharmacist, is this a good one? Because sometimes they're like super friendly. I'm very interested in pharmacists. I really want a friend who's a pharmacist. Not an assistant, not to be rude, but I want like pharmacist. Because to me, pharmacists are like doctors who just are too nervous to be doctors. I don't know what the difference is, but it feels the same to me. So I walk up with my Neosporin and I'm like, is this good for paper cuts? Because mostly I just want to talk to somebody. And he goes, sure. And I'm like, are we fighting? What are you doing? Did you just put the cloak on? Are you faking? You're supposed to go, yeah, that'll work good, and then it'll get your mitochondria going. Like, talk to me, baby. That wasn't really a story. Does anybody else, when it gets hot outside, I start feeling so much extra like FOMO. I start fear of missing out, if you don't know what that is, Grandma. I just start feeling like, oh, there's something going on. Stuff. I can't get over the fact that things are happening sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like happy with the fact that I'm inside, things are happening outside. But sometimes I just want to go out there, but I don't know what to do. And I literally will just walk outside and I'll be like, I don't know, go to Target, like go somewhere where people are. My fantasy is that I'll like walk to the grocery store and someone will be like, come on, man. And I'll go, huh? Like, I don't know how to do it. But I think about like, I get very insecure about like who I am socially and how other people have more friends and other people are part of a group and I don't have an actual group and I would never have a birthday party because I don't know enough people who know each other. But then I'm like this is judgmental, but I feel like to be someone who's around different people every night and like, I don't know if I actually want that. And also I feel like you have to have lower standards. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, because my standards are like too high sometimes. And it's very hard for me to feel trusting. And for me, like, I need to feel like I've been in situations before where I'm like, am I crossing over to like the popular kids? But it feels like nobody actually cares because it's like this very shallow, like, all right, yeah, whatever. Like nobody is actually like talking about their feelings and like, that's all I really want. At the end of I like trick myself into thinking I want to go like party. I literally want to sit like on the ground with one person and like look at each other in the eyes and talk about our feelings. And if you're one of those people who like party, that probably sounds terrifying to you. And your version sounds terrifying to me. Maybe we should switch places. Nobody watching this goes to parties. So mean. Okay, I guess I'm going to sing the song now. What time is it? I wanted to upload this video today. I was just winding this up. Okay. These are the people who pay me more money on Patreon. I feel like this ending... Okay, now I want to... He's too loud. Darcy T, Isabel Morales, Lauren Lawrence, Rachel Hannah, Hannah Campbell, Bambi Boop Boop, Tony Crime, Darla Renee, Eden B, Pandora Haven, Polka Trail, Shelby Lynn, Novia, Callie, Breland Grace, Lyric, Tabitha Ross, Ariel May, Niall, Lindsay, Stickney, Stacy, Jasenia Oviedo, Ethan Parks, Andy Becca, Mixie Sticks, Sarah Jane Pierce, Lonnie M, Riley Radford, Marin Shahan, Leon Domla, Lucy E.T., Kenya Riley, Haley Curie, Olivia Brown, Kathy Gans, Cousin Maybay Cassidy. Cassidy. Wait, Cassidy. I was gonna say quesadilla, but what if she doesn't like that?